Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as what? Epic Fantasy, that's right. And this is my latest tutorial, and this is a Halloween video. In this video I've chosen 7 of my, 7 easy to make swords. And you know, a sword is a fun thing when it comes to a Halloween costume. It's kind of a nice accessory, accoutrement that goes along with it. You can carry around a nice little foamboard sword. It's kind of nice, and I've chosen 7 different ones, you know, like Viking or Star Wars or Pirate, and you know, that are kind of appropriate for Halloween. And here's the thing, they're all made out of foamboard. You can buy foamboard like this for 88 cents at Walmart or $1 at the dollar store. If you want to get a better foamboard, which is like higher quality, more durable, go with an Elmer's. I think they cost about $3 a sheet. 1 or 2 sheets, depending on the sword you make, is all you need. And you know, these tutorials are pretty easy. I give you pretty easy to put together to make yourself a nice, and I do all the work for you. I have each project has a template that you print up, cut out the pieces, and then use those on the foam board to make your sword. Glue it all together, and you know, so I make it really easy for you to have a nice little sword with a theme to it. And let me think. Every one of these videos, one of the reasons why I chose these 7 is that each one has a unique technique or idea about them. And you'll see, I'll explain to you as you look at each one what the unique little different technique is about the project. 6 of them I make with foam board, 1 I make out of cardboard. You can make them all out of cardboard if you want. If you don't want to get any foam board, you can do it with cardboard. And I think, I haven't counted, but I'm pretty sure I have about 100 swords on my YouTube channel here. So I got a playlist. If you want to check, I get a lot more swords, you know, that I didn't mention. A bunch of Lord of the Ring swords, Game of Thrones, video game swords, you know, from different video games. I got a whole bunch of them. So there might be something you like, you know, go through the playlist, or look through my videos, or just use the search function to search for something. And within my channel, there's a channel search function where you can look just within my channel. All of these 7 projects, the links are in the description of this video, and the link is to my playlist for all the swords. And of course, if you want to make a sword, I even have tutorials on how to make real swords out of steel. Well, anyway, so thanks for watching. Do me a favor, help me fight the YouTube algorithm. Give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up for the hard work. You like this kind of stuff. Leave a comment. Comments are always appreciated. Maybe you get an idea for a sword. You know, I'm thinking about, I'm going to do a new one. Not sure yet what, a new cardboard foam board sword. You know, spread this video around. I'd appreciate that much too. If you want to support me, you can support me through Patreon, buy me a coffee, PayPal, a variety of different ways. And of course, check out my website. It's been around for 20 some odd years, StormTheCastle.com. There's thousands of projects there you can make. Let's make something. Thank you. Let's do the intro, and then let's look at these 7 swords. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, rattle rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, so I wanted to start out with this pirate cutlass first. It's a fun and easy project, and it has a unique little thing that I've never seen before in a sword-making project. It has a treasure chest with the treasure map right inside the sword. I just love this. I don't know how the idea came to me, but the idea did come to me. So you open up the treasure chest and you can take out your little treasure sword. Treasure map. It's just fun. Shoot a film board or some cardboard. I give you the template, everything you need. Let your imagination run wild. Okay, and the Kylo Ren Crossguard lightsaber. A unique thing about this sword is, well, it's unique in the Star Wars world, but I show you a couple of techniques here, including something called dry brushing. Right there I wasn't dry brushing, but it's a technique called dry brushing to make it look like metal. It's a fun and really good technique. And you can paint your sword with regular paints or with fluorescent spray-on paints, which is what I used, which I really love. Comes out really good, really gives it you can buy those for a few dollars in a hardware store, the little cans. And then you seal it with a crystal enamel sealant, crystal clear. And even though when it's dry, it still looks wet. So it's got a really good look. See how it's shining? You might think it's wet. It's not. It's dry. But so I like that painting technique for this sword. Right? Now, the Knight's Templar sword. Pretty much a standard sword you would think of. A couple of things I did here with this sword is I used a new building technique where the blade is separated from the handle and you put them together. And it works pretty good. But the big thing about this is called the fuller. And with Foamboard, one of the beautiful things about Foamboard is you can peel off a section of the paper and then sand out that fuller. And fuller is sometimes called the blood groove. But a fuller makes a sword much stronger. And a lot of swords have fullers. I have a tutorial on fullers with blacksmithing, if you want to check that out. But see, you sand it out to make a nice bevel shape. It's really, really cute. Nice little technique here. So now, the Conan sword. The thing about this sword is, this is a more complicated project. There's more work involved with this one. Comes out really good. But, you know, it's a fancier sword, a lot more to it, but I give you all the fancy. That's right, I give you the fancy. And all you got to do is print it up, cut it out, and same for the shape of the sword, all of that. I give you all of that, but I also give you these ornaments here, so you don't have to do any of that work. Well, but it's in black and white, so what you have to do is color it, and I'll show you a little bit of that. But I like the fanciness of this sword. See, even the skull on the screaming skull there on the pommel. But print it up, use a gold pen if you got one, a black pen, and color it up, and it comes out really nice. And I also wrap the handle here with some brown string, which is a nice touch. So a more complicated sword, but I give you the stuff you need. All you got to do is supply some of the basic materials. I even got a jewel there. I should have cut out that fuller. Anyway, so now the Spartan Sword. I think this might have been the first one of the. This is one of the first swords I made years ago. It's still very popular. It's probably got 1 million views. But how to make a Spartan Sword out of cardboard? Really easy, but really strong. Several layers of cardboard. I give you the template. Add some wire to make this nice decoration on it. This is a perennial favorite, the Spartan Sword, because it has such a great look. Paint it black, the handle grip brown, and you've got a nice little sword. A little bit of silver there. I like it. Always one of my favorites. So now Excalibur. And I got a couple of nice techniques for this sword. Easy to make sword, but there were two things I wanted to do with this sword. I wanted it to be reasonably elegant. So there's an elegance to this sword. It's almost like a dress sword. And I put a Damascus steel pattern on it. And I'll show you a little bit more about that. The Damascus steel is that pattern on the blade. See it? How it's all like got all those lines on it? That's called a Damascus pattern. So elegance and Damascus. Let me show you a little bit about that. And you're going to be a little bit surprised because I'll show you. You'll see. Oh, and I also have a tutorial on how to make a boulder out of paper mache if you want to do a sword in the stone. This sword would be perfect for a sword in the stone. But let's talk about that Damascus pattern. Now, this is a tutorial I did where I put a clear handle, and that handle needs cleaning up. But that's actually a clear resin that I mounted and made this knife in one of my knife making tutorials with a Damascus steel pattern. I bought a Damascus steel blank. I didn't actually fold that steel myself. I shaped it and cut it and all of that. But I used that as an inspiration to do a Damascus pattern on the Excalibur sword. So 2 new things about this sword is the elegance and the Damascus pattern. See, there you go. Just have fun with the pencil and put your own pattern in there. Oh, and I wrap it with a little bit of fake leather. That's another little detail that I like that gives it a little bit of elegance. That pommel needs repainting. What happened to that pommel? But there you go. Seal it over with Mod Podge, and we're good to go. And this is a standard technique when it comes to making swords out of cardboard or foam board, is if you have Mod Podge, use it. It will strengthen the sword. It will seal it, help the colors to stay, and it will keep it shining longer. It's like it's a sealant. Okay, the final sword here is part of a pair, is my Viking Sword. Now, the unique thing, and also along with on that same video tutorial, I'll show you how to make a Viking helmet, or an easy one. Those gold buttons are actually hot glue dots. But the thing I like about this sword is you get to choose your pommel. Wisdom, strength, or courage. Each pommel has a different meaning, and you choose which pommel you want to put on your sword. You want wisdom, you want strength, or you want courage. I chose wisdom for my sword when I made mine. See, there you go. So we have a little bit of fun. So that's the unique thing about this sword. And this one I did do the fuller too. But I like this project. It's also another very popular project. You know, the whole Viking theme and the easy to make Viking sword that's strong, right? That's one of the things about foamboard or cardboard is if you multi-layer it, it's pretty strong. You don't want a single sheet as your sword. That won't last. You glue together multiple sheets, 2 or 3, and you come up with... It's all in the template. I describe exactly how to make every one of these swords. So that's it. And one of my favorite swords, this is a big sword. This one's kind of really different and difficult to build. It's a Ring Wraith sword. And I use Plasti Dip, which is like this rubberized material that you dip the handle of the sword in to make that handle. It's kind of cool. But I'm thinking, I use that sword. Me and a Guapa will head out as Ring Wraiths. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hey, if you make a sword, make sure you send me a picture and of the sword, and I will send you a certificate of contribution. I'll put it on my website and send you a certificate of contribution. Have fun. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.